it's a lot in one technique, but you're learning two things. You're learning a system of trapping the arm, right, and nullifying the defense. That's one. And then the second thing we're working on is the choke. So everyone's looking pretty good with falling off to the side and trapping the arms. On the choke, just the one thing I want to explain to everybody is that people are having a little bit of hard time with is a choke cuts off blood to the neck, right? The carotid arteries. That's here. So any kind of choke you do, you have to have pressure here on the carotid artery. When I do my cross-collar choke, a lot of you are starting it down here. If you look here, there's no pressure across his carotid artery. I'm not going to do anything with the choke. I might give him like a little bit of discomfort, but he can sit here all day long and I won't choke him. Which is why it's so important when I say crawl this hand is not to get greedy with the hand or you have to be persistent, which means you don't just grab the first grip. You have to crawl it all the way up. And sometimes you can use your other hand to open the collar if you're going to get it, but you have to come all the way up. My thumb is right here. So if we just turn sideways, my thumb is here. That's your cue. If you can get your thumb all the way here, you know you've got it in the right position. And also the grip that I make. Some of you are gripping with your fingers like that. That's very weak. You're going to lose strength in your grip, and if he can last for a few seconds, you lose the position. So when you grab it, you have to grab a fistful like that. Now, for some of you, that might take some time. You might have to work on your grip strength, not a problem. But you want to make that grip, and then this elbow, I want to come, if I get there this way, this elbow is going to drop here. This hand, this hand does is, remember I said that I have to choke both sides? So the other side that's going to choke him is this gi, but it has to be straight. If there's all this fabric, I'm just choking from one side, it's not doing anything. So all this hand does is it makes it straight. And then when I'm here, he can already feel the discomfort. Is this hand is going to drop back like that. You're not doing this, right? Some of you are doing this. This hand is coming back. So by coming back, it's pulling this way and down. And this hand is just keeping it straight. So let's just try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. So it's a good question. So if you come here, it's all about your control, right? So his question, for those of you who didn't hear, was when we're transitioning, how do you avoid people losing the position? So the first starting point is always this, right? I want to get my seatbelt grip, and I want to be really tight, hug him, and I want my head here. Now, try to turn any which way. Let's just say I even lose my hips. Keep going. And this is without my hooks. Now I'm going to start using my hooks. Go. I can stay here all day. I can use my hooks. I can do all this stuff, right? So the first starting point is I've got to get really good hooks. I've got to get really good seatbelts. So we have this. The second point is I get my hands, is when I turn to my side, there's two things happening here. One is I'm not loose with my legs. Then this foot comes across, and this foot puts downward pressure. So try to move. This is keeping him in place. The second is, where's my head? It's not over here. My head is here. So this is a wedge against him. Because if my head is all the way here, and he starts getting his head to the ground, and I start shrimping that way, just keep moving that way, he's gonna start creating space. I've lost the back. And so I wanna keep my head here. This is my wedge. And then I can start to build my attacks and do all this stuff. And some of you were saying, what happens if he brings this arm across and does all this stuff? I'll just put his arm down then here. I can just do this. If his arm is really bothering me, or I can just do this. And some of you are also saying, like, what happens if you're here and you can't move this hand? He's really tough with it. If you can't move the hand, you start threatening the choke. If I start threatening the choke, what's he going to do with the hand? He's going to grab my hand. I'm going to strip it. I'm going to do this. So if you're here and you're like, oh man, his defense is like this. He's being really good at jiu-jitsu defense. He's got his hand here. Then I'm just going to start threatening the choke. I'm going to start doing this stuff and come across and do this. Anything else? Good? All right, well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate that.